Can you guys see that? Can you guys see those little like floating pieces of cotton or whatever they are? That's so cool. That is so cool. I hope it's showing up on the camera. Anyway, welcome back to Epic Journey Through the Bible. What's up, guys? I put those out of order for the first time in this series. My name is Jacob Serns, and really it's not a question today, it's really more of a statement. We're looking at the unlucky 13. The unlucky 13, what am I talking about? Well, we just finished talking about how Jesus said a person is defiled from inside and not from outside. Right, so what is it he's referring to when he talks about that defilement that's taking place? Well, I have the list right here. It's actually found right there in Mark chapter 7, right near the very, very end of the chapter. Here's what he says. Evil thoughts, that's 1. Adulteries, 2. Fornication, 3. 4 is murders. 5 is thefts. 6 is covetousness. 7 is wickedness. 8 is deceit. 9, lewdness. 10, an evil eye. 11, blasphemy. 12, pride. And 13, foolishness. Yikes. So those are the unlucky 13 right there. Those are some of the sins that Jesus says are the ones that can poison us from the inside instead of from the outside. Now, it's interesting when you look at that list, you'll see some things that really look almost like they're repeating themselves, right? You see lewdness in there, fornication, adultery. All those kind of have to do with sexual stuff, usually, right? I guess lewdness can kind of go multiple directions, right? You got an evil eye, even that can have to do with sexuality. So a lot of those having to do with sex. Now, if you look at television and movies nowadays, is sex something that's held in a sacred and beautiful and very intimate light? Or is it something that's thrown around pretty loosely? Is sex reserved only for people who are married to each other? Or is it something that people kind of do whenever they feel like it? Okay, what about the very next one on the list? What about murders? Right? Think of your favorite TV show, your favorite movie. Are there murders? Am I stepping on toes? This is the world we're surrounded with now, is that I feel like Satan was taking notes on this list. And he wrote down all 13 and he's like, how can I get these into people's lives so I can mess them up? So I can poison them from the inside. And my personal stance on this would be that it's working pretty effectively. If you look at society, if you look at the way that people just don't seem to care anymore, people don't seem to have the same level of compassion and love that they used to have. So how do we fight this? Well, it's the same thing from yesterday's worship thought. We've got to invite Jesus in. We got to get off the throne of our hearts and let him sit on that throne. Because we're being bombarded by all these things around us. But again, it's not what's around us that defiles us. What defiles us? What's inside of us. So somehow Satan is able to penetrate the mind and get these things inside of our hearts and inside of our minds. And then we are allowing these things to poison us from the inside out. So we've got to surrender to Jesus. Like always, you've heard me say this before. We've got to surrender to him. We've got to allow him to come into our hearts and start that transforming process. Start that work, because he's the author and the finisher. He's not going to leave us alone. He's going to help us with it. But we have to surrender. We can't keep surrounding ourselves with poison and thinking about poison and looking at poison and drinking poison and somehow think that we're not going to get poisoned. Doesn't make any sense. We got to trust Jesus. God bless you guys. Thank you once again for watching this video with me. Peace, love, and the joy of the Lord to each and every one of you.